Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever this podcast finds you. I pray you are flourishing. I pray you are ignoring the negativity and continuing to boss up. So you guys know I always have a story. It's story time, but in a little bit, my guest will join us. So I'm very, very excited to introduce Keyonnia Cook to you guys, and so we can share her story. My story is, when you are an entrepreneur, and this is what I want you guys to, my channel is to encourage you, to push you to start conversations, to open the doors for different things. You have to keep going. This is not even for entrepreneurs. This is life happens every day to all of us. I say it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter your connections. Life is going to happen. So you have to be able to keep going. So here I am. I'm continuing to go and to push. I had to unexpectedly purchase a new tire. I had to unexpectedly purchase a new phone. I mean, we're going to get started because Keyonnia is here. So let me go ahead and let her in and introduce her. But you guys keep pushing. Keep
pushing. So, okay. And then the actual, there we go. So put your name. Okay.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Well, it's 2 p.m. over here on the East Coast. But
I know.
We almost had a confusion and didn't make it here today. So I'm glad we were able to clarify that and you were able to sit with us. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. So let me do a little small introduction, guys. So Keyonnia, this is my YouTube channel. I'm all about moving the culture forward. I want them to know there are so many different options out there for us. It doesn't matter where you start. It's all about how you end. You have to keep pushing. You have to persevere. You have to be persistent. So I like to bring different guests on who are either moving the culture forward by their mindset or by the choices that they've made. So career-wise, I just always enjoyed your journey. So been so proud of you. We graduated from the same high school, and I feel like sometimes where we come from in our background, people do not expect much from us, and we are just out here kicking butt and taking names. So,
hey, right?
So thank you so much. Can you do like a small introduction of yourself? Is that too much to ask?
No, heck no, it's not too much. All right, so I'm Keyonnia Cook. Just like you said, you mentioned we went to the same high school, T.W. Josie High School. The area, it wasn't the best high school as far as like probably graduation percentages, academics, and things of that nature, just by our surroundings alone. But as far as the people, as far as like the mentality of making it out of there, everyone wanted the same thing, to kind of get out of the area. And again, it's not a bad area. It was just, our surroundings were a little different. So after high school, I went to Tuskegee University. All right, my alma mater, I love that school. And shortly after graduation, I joined the Navy, and that's where I have been pursuing my career, advancing in my career for the last 10 years.
The last 10 years. Oh my goodness.
Went by so fast.
We look good though. We look good. So man. Yeah, so I've always admired your journey. I'm a big fan of giving everyone their flowers while they're here. Like, hey, I'm proud of you. Hey, keep going. I mean, some people are not able to do that, but I will. I love giving flowers to those who deserve it. So was so proud of you when you took to Tuskegee. Did you play basketball too in college?
I did in high school.
Okay, so I've always been proud of you. Basketball career in high school, basketball career in college, and then seeing you advance in the Navy. So I do have questions here. I know this will be kind of quick. Before I jump into the questions, was there anything else you wanted to say or needed to say?
No, I think as we go along with the questions, I'll probably give some inputs there if I had anything extra to come out.
Okay. And so, guys, again, this is for encouragement. This is so you can actually see, there's just so much more available to us out there. And we're going to get started. So, what is your official job title?
So I am a surface warfare officer in the Navy. And what we do is we're kind of like, in a sense, at first, a jack of all trades. So we can work in engineering, we can work in operations, intelligence, anything within the Navy. We're going to start out there. And what we do is, as we advance, we become experts in a certain area. So let's say I wanted to become an intelligence officer. Around my third year of warfare, in my warfare career, I will be assigned as an intelligence officer. So right now, what we do starting out, I drive the ships. So warships, yeah, throughout freaking Mediterranean Sea, South China Sea, anything, anywhere where we have operations, we'll be driving the ships as a second part of our job.
Where all have you gone? Because you said 10 years, and that just seems so crazy to me. Like, wow. Where have you been, and what is your favorite place that you were stationed?
Oh yeah, so oh my gosh, so far I've been to about 12 or 13 different countries. Starting out my first year in, I think I hit maybe 5 different countries. Well, some of my favorites have been Spain, Portugal, Dubai. My all-time favorite is more than likely going to be Rome. Yeah, I got a chance to visit Vatican City. I actually saw the Pope speak while I was there, and it was just an amazing experience. As far as being stationed, I've been stationed in Virginia, Florida, Japan, and I'm out here doing training in California now. And easy to say, Japan was one of my favorites.
Do you capture those memories though? Like, I know you see all these places, but do you take it in and you're like, oh my goodness, like this is my life, what I'm doing?
Oh yeah, I think my first time we were transiting through the Suez Canal, and what you see is you see Africa on one side and you see Spain on the other side. And I think that was like my first time actually looking over and seeing the Egypt sign, the Welcome to Egypt sign. It was just like, wow, the things that you actually see on TV and, you envision as a child, I was actually witnessing that, firsthand. And that's when it kind of first hit me. And I was just like, wow, like, all right, this
Are
is
you proud of yourself? Like, I mean, sometimes, you feel not like you feel like you made it and these people are stuck or whatever, but do you take time to say, you know what? No, I'm so proud of myself. And I know I still have so much more to do.
Oh yeah. I actually reach back out to a few of my teachers that inspired me in middle school and in high school. And it's just, I have these random moments where, you think about the environment that we grew up in, and you think about how things could have been for you.
Right.
And how things, should have, honestly, according to statistics, should have been, And so there are times where I look out when I'm out on the flight deck, and I'm, you just see the open waters and the sun setting. And I just have moments to where I'm like, wow, I could have been this, but I'm here, seeing, the world and doing things that I love. So of course, I definitely have those moments, and those are humbling moments for me. And those are moments where I actually, I love reaching back out to people and letting people know, like, hey, you can see this too.
Right. Do you ever have you ever heard of imposter syndrome? Feeling like you don't deserve it, or like you don't deserve to be in the room, or whatnot. I experienced that a lot when I first got into the field of information technology, and it's like so many older white men, and I'm like,
oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you definitely get a sense of I don't think I ever wondered like how sometimes I question like why before, like, like why me? Like why am I here and not over there and things like that. And it's just, you question it. It's motivational for me sometimes. And again, it's so humbling to, it just makes you think.
That's good. So not so much how did I get here, because you know what you did. You worked hard. And we
Of
have to
course.
accept you put in work, you work hard, you get the results. But why am I here? That's good. That's good. So we have your job title. How did you come to the decision to join the Navy?
Oh yeah, great question. So I've always loved being a part of a team. I played almost every sport you can think of in high school, in college, and even in the Navy. I was a part of their women's basketball team. And it's just, I've always had that feeling of being a part of something bigger than me. So part of a family, I grew up with a big family, playing sports, being a part of a team. So just right when I was graduating, I was like, hey, this is another team, except for, I'll
So
be
you
getting
were
paid
not
to be on
scared.
this team.
You were
Yeah.
never scared.
So no, I was not scared at all. I was excited. I was just, open to the journey. So.
Okay. Okay. So we love the Navy. You're there. So now we're gonna talk more about some of the stuff that I love to focus on.
Okay.
And the first one is gonna be, is taking care of your mental health important to you?
Oh yeah, it is extremely important. It is the top of my list. You won't be able to function, especially in this environment, with missions and deployments without taking care of your mental health. And as far as the position that I am, I have a lot of junior sailors under me. So being a part of that, if I'm not taking care of myself, am I taking care of my division? Am I taking care of my department? So it is imperative to.
Okay, okay. So do you feel like it's well, I guess I was gonna ask next, what are some of the ways you take care of yourself and practice, self-care, self-love? Um, do you feel like again, you know, I was not always encouraged to take care of your mental health, maybe see a therapist, different things like that. So
Yeah.
what did that involve for you? I mean, you're away from your family, you're taking this step, you're trying to advance in this new career. So what did that include for you? And how do you take care of yourself and love on yourself while still making sure you're handling business and getting things done?
Nice. That's a great question, and I'm going to try to answer all of that
Sorry.
within one. So you mentioned basically our upbringing and how mental health wasn't a factor, and it wasn't. So like growing up, especially in most black families, we're taught, hey, just pray about it if something is wrong, or oh, you'll be fine. I've been there, I've done that. You'll be okay. So the first thing is when you change your environment, you get different perspectives on life. So it wasn't until I went to Tuskegee and, I'm around people that had different upbringings and, had different cultural backgrounds and environments. They brought that to the table with me meeting them. And that's where it was kind of opening up like, you know what, I don't have to just pray about something. I can develop a routine. I can read books and, things of that nature. So like,
Boundaries.
exactly. So for me, what I've learned with mental health is that it changes. What worked for you 5 years ago may not work for you down the line. And exactly. So one thing is like when we talk about love languages, right? Hey, acts of service and physical touch and things like that. We usually kind of tend to like, hey, this is the way that you're going to love me because this is, these are the things that make me feel love. But we never turn that inwardly to ourselves. How are you utilizing that information to love yourself and create mental health for yourself? So for example, if you're more of a physical touch type person, maybe your mental breaks will be going to the gym or taking a run. And for myself, I'm definitely like a words of affirmation type person. So for mental health, what I do is I find encouraging things to like look at. So maybe a movie that inspires me or music that inspires me. And I take that and it inspires me and it's motivational and I use that to keep going. Another thing that I like to do is I like acts of service. So volunteering helps me out a lot. So in the Navy, there are times where I would have study sessions. And with me, like me helping like my junior sailors study for things that they need to know and kind of develop their expertise in their jobs, it helped. It was a mental break for me. So those are things that worked for me. Along with, I love basketball and things like that. So I'll go out and still hoop, and ball out.
So yeah, you turn it around. I mean, I guess that's what self-care and self-love is all about. You are actually turning it around on yourself. And I never even thought about it. How you said, if you whatever your love language is not just to use on someone else, it's to use,
Exactly.
on yourself. Do you feel like because you did say, you love being a part of a unit and things like that, is that very important to you, like that family dynamic of building a unit, building those relationships and things like that?
Oh yeah, it has to be. Just imagine some of our missions include, you're not able to speak to your family for a certain amount of days, maybe weeks, and even months into a mission. You're working with a group of people that you had to basically come to grow into. You had to make your family. This family wasn't given to you,
Right.
so when you've had a long entire day and you haven't spoken to your family, how are these people that are surrounding you encouraging you? So I'm definitely big on, this is my family. It's not just a unit. We're a family because we're going to be the ones looking out for each other when we're out here completing the missions.
Can I ask you a question? Only because this is something I deal with, and it seems like you do not have such a hard time dealing with it. How did you learn how to trust, like, these people that you? I mean, even in college, even in when you started your career, you don't know them. How did you learn to trust? I think that's something I'm working on.
Okay, that's a great question. So, I know we have, it's so many different philosophies out there when it comes to like ways to trust people. So one that an approach that I take is kind of like, it's an uncommon one. So most people say, hey, you have to earn my trust. You work hard and you earn my trust. So what I do is I kind of do the opposite a little bit. I say, you know what, off back, you have my trust to an extent, and if you mess that up, you lost that, so it's not something where, I'm judging you off back. I'm like, hey, you have my trust, go ahead, I gave it to you. And if you violate that, then okay, you're not as trustworthy as I thought you would be. So now I have to take certain steps and handle you a certain way because you violated that trust that you were given for free. So
That's good. Do you understand what I mean when I say, like, I had to set certain boundaries for people,
oh
um,
yeah.
in my life, and you have to accept. Well, I had to accept is that you feel like because you're going through all this growth and change and just learning so much and applying it to your life that everyone is doing that, and they are not. So how important was it to you? Setting boundaries for me has been life changing. Like, I didn't even realize, I had that much of a power and that much of a voice for myself. So had to set boundaries, and how did you go about doing that? Was it life changing for you?
Oh yeah. So setting boundaries too is something that I'm still working on. And I think that's going to always be an ongoing thing for everyone in life. No matter how old you get, no matter how much you practice, you're going to have to continue to do that. So when I started setting boundaries, I had a misunderstanding of, I should only set boundaries with people that make me feel a certain way. You have to set boundaries with everyone, family, friends, coworkers, everyone. And the thing about it is, as time goes on, like I said before, who maybe you didn't have to set as many boundaries with before because we're people and we're constantly changing. Down the line, you may have to set more boundaries later, or you can slack with your boundaries with certain people as we grow. So it's just like knowing yourself and knowing how people affect you. And again, as they're growing and we're growing, we could be growing apart or we could be growing together. And that's when you set those boundaries. But it is always so important because you have people that they don't know that they're constantly taking from you. And sometimes we're the people that we're constantly taking from other people and we don't know. So communication is important with setting boundaries, and you have to set boundaries.
Is I just feel like it's so many things that have happened to where proper communication, and that
Oh yeah.
just means, listening, not just speaking so you can talk and get your point across, but
Oh yeah.
listening and you want to respond to what this person, or maybe you don't need to respond actually because you're saying everything. So communication, is so vital. So yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Is it hard for you being away from your family? I know that you go on multiple stints, and sometimes I guess it varies on how long you are away. But is that hard for you, or?
It is actually, and it's something that no matter how long you're in, you're not gonna kind of get used to it like over it all. So you do kind of settle with it. You learn how to cope with it, but it still affects you in a sense. So this last station that I was at, I was stationed in Yokosuka, Japan. I got there, COVID had hit. Yeah, and so they weren't letting any visitors in the country, and we couldn't leave the country. So this last period, it was the longest period I hadn't seen my family, and it was almost 2 years. And I didn't think that was going to affect me because, I'm so used to being away, and I'm just like, oh, okay, 2 years. And, and so, I didn't realize it until, I just, you start to change a little as a person because, the foundation, my family's my foundation. And I hadn't seen them in so long. And I was like, okay, like I really miss my family now. So you just, again, it's nothing that I ever get used to. I just find ways to cope with it. But you will though, miss your family.
How long do you plan your career in the Navy? I mean, you just said 10 years and
Yeah.
wow,
It went by so fast. I was just like, even saying it out loud, I was like, dang, okay. Yeah, I swear, it was just like, I remember my uncle asking me just the other day, like, how long have you been in? And I was like, oh, 2 years. And I'm like, dang, 2 years. Yeah, but I'm sorry, what was your question? I apologize.
do you see more longevity? Like, do you plan on
Oh, yeah.
retiring? I mean, of course, you could probably retire, I guess, younger, but this seems like something you're kind of committed to and dedicated to.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. So since
20
I started
years?
early,
I
yeah.
mean,
So I always plan my career enlistment by enlistment. So if I signed up for, hey, I'm gonna do 2 more years or 4 more years, I work with those 4 years.
that's good. Okay, okay.
But now, I'm halfway there. So it's kind of given that at least 20. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go a little bit beyond because what I want to do is I want to command a ship. And that's me commanding an entire command as far as departments, division, everyone is up under me, and it's not to the point where, hey, I'm just, all right, I have all these people working for me. That's not it. I want to effectively and officially run a naval warfare ship. So that's my big goal, and I know it's going to take me about maybe 12, 13 more years to get there. But I am on track to get there. So I'm looking at maybe about 23 years. And even if I retire with the full career of 23 years, I'll be in my 40s, like retiring.
Still young, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
So
40-year-olds these days are different because I mean they still look so good. So I know you said your official name, and I want you to say it again. And can you explain it a little bit, like I guess how the ranking system works, maybe?
yeah. So you want me to explain like my
So you said
title?
intern, ensign.
Yeah, so Ensign
Mess
Cook.
it up.
It's okay. So I was prior enlisted, and then I switched over to become a naval officer. And my job title is a surface warfare officer. And because I'm prior enlisted, I'm kind of like O1E, which means like you're an officer, but you have prior experience with the enlisted side, which I think makes for great naval officers because you understand both sides in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what I do now, I'll be going over to handle my first division on an amphibious ship over in Norfolk, Virginia, here soon once I'm done with training. And what we do again is I'm going to be navigating these warships, and it's a lot that goes into it, a lot.
It's scary when you say warship.
Yeah.
On the ship.
Yeah, so it sounds a little scary, but
Somebody like, oh, I'm scared, but you know what I mean. It's a risk involved. That's what I'm trying to say. Ultimately, there's still a risk and a sacrifice, that is involved,
oh yeah,
with this career choice. So I think
it definitely is.
so it's just so honorable. Do you guys have like captains and lieutenants, and it's still kind of that type of thing also?
Oh yeah. So because of the history of the Navy, we adopted a lot of things from the British Navy. So where you would hear like a lieutenant in the Army, or maybe like a major in the Army, we call them lieutenant commanders and ensigns and junior grades. So we adopted our ranking system from the British Navy. So the numbers mean the same, just a different name.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like, you know what? I just feel like if I try to pronounce that, I'm gonna mess it up. I'm gonna say it, but now I feel comfortable in. So cool. So we talked about everything what led you there. If there is anyone, and I'm sure there will be people who watch this and maybe their family is considering the Navy, or the military, maybe they are, I don't know if there's like an age limit or whatever. What advice would you have for them? Like, I mean, just stay focused, or, what advice would you give?
Okay, great. I love that question. The advice that I would give is to first, do your research. All right. So go online, kind of get a sense of what you want to do. So if you're more so of I want to be on the ground type person, the boots on the ground, maybe the Army or the Marine Corps. If you're not afraid of the water and you want to see what the ship life is about, the Navy, or, if you want to, hey, I may want to fly planes or things of that nature, the Navy and the Air Force. So, look into it and then go and talk to a recruiter. And you talking to a recruiter, it doesn't mean like, hey, I want to join, your branch right now. It's you just getting information and seeing if, I can possibly do this. And the questions that you want to ask are, what jobs do you offer? If I were to go with this branch, what would be my commitment? Do I have to stay for 4 years, 2 years, 8 years? What can you offer me? You'll be surprised. The military will pay off some stuff for you. So, if you have student loans, will you pay off my student loans? If I were to sign with your branch, do you have a sign-on bonus? Back when I joined, I didn't have a sign-on bonus, but 4 years later, they're offering people that were coming in doing my same job, hey, we're going to give you $10,000 to start out with extra. Oh yeah, I'm like, darn it, I missed out on $10,000 from the beginning. All right, cool. Right. Back pay. So that's the foundation of it, right? And then if you were to decide to do it, find something that you're passionate about. Whatever you would do in the civilian vector, try to do that in the military. You'll be surprised. We need counselors, So if you have a background of counseling, we have counselors, we have lawyers, doctors, like all of this stuff that is offered in the civilian vector is also offered in the military. Because what I tell people all the time is, if you're just joining, hey, I just want to join, I want to make money. Yeah, you're going to get money, right? But you're going to get to a point to where the money isn't going to matter. It's going to be about whether or not you can continue to do this job because you're happy, so you have to be, so pick something that as close to your passion as possible. And last but not
right.
Yeah. And that's, yeah. And I tell the guys this all the time too, is that I hate to say it this way, like, the military, they're going to get all they can out of you. You get all of you can out of them. If you just want to join for 4 years so that they can pay for your degree, do your 4 years, get out and let them pay for your degree. Or if you have a trade that you want to pick up and you want them to teach you for free, all right, hey, because what they're going to do is they're going to teach you that trade and they're going to be like, all right, I need you to complete this mission. Okay. So pick something that can be useful later on to you as well. And let me see one more thing. All right, last but not least. So I love that I joined the Navy because it has given me a chance to actually travel the world. A lot of times people say, hey, educational benefits, I want to travel the world, XYZ. With some of the other branches, you will get to travel, but it may be longer. Let's say like, maybe 2-3 years down the line. With the Navy, within my first year, 6 countries right off back. I got to live in another country. So like, find your why and then tailor that decision to your why.
This is just a fun question. We have like a few minutes left. I'm sorry this is so quick, but this is okay. So much, you've given so much good information, and I do want to say thank you again. So this is just silly. How long can you hold your breath underwater?
Let's see. So before I joined, I was definitely not a great swimmer. Actually, the Navy had to teach me how to swim once I joined. How long can I hold my breath? I've never actually really tried, but I'm pretty sure it's less than a minute, which isn't that great.
You guys are not, it's just not water. It's like all this other stuff. It's not like.
Oh yeah, so it depends on your job. So let's say if I was going to be attached to a submarine or something like that, or if I was a diver, a Navy diver, I would have to hold my breath for at least 3 minutes. So I'm more so on the surface side. So I'm on top of the aircraft, on the ships and inside of them. But you have to know how to swim though. You have to know how to swim and you have to know how to do prone floats. So what we practice is, God forbid one day a missile, something hits our ship and we have to abandon ship. You're going to be jumping from about 20 feet, 30, 40 feet. So you have to know how to land safely in this water and you have to know how to swim for a certain amount of time, which is a pretty long time. And then once you get tired, you have to know how to float. So that's what they teach us. Yeah, girl, it wasn't too fun to learn, but it's a life.
But you know, thank you for your sacrifice. I mean, you know, for all of our military. I still tell people, America, I know we have a lot of stuff, but we are still one of the best countries. So I'm so thankful for all of the military branches. Can I ask you before we leave? And you don't even have to answer if you don't want to.
It's okay.
Do you think you want to have kids?
Yes.
Do you want to be do you want to be a parent? Like, do you feel like you see that, you know, maybe sometime in your future? Because you are so busy and your time is kind of dedicated, but do you think like you may be interested in that?
Wow, that's a great question. Yes. So I would say before, when I first joined, I was so busy, I didn't see it. And it was one of those things where I was okay with missing out on parenthood. Mm-hmm. But again, people change as we grow, you know, in life. So I want
such a great mom.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. But yes, so hopefully, you know, kids will be in my future here soon.
But you know, I just wanted to ask it does change your life. I think I didn't even start my mental health journey and caring about my mental health and just seeing that so many things were not right. I mean, I always had a good head on my shoulders, but it just changed my life phenomenally. So I just always like to ask just to see, because some people don't, you know, like you said, but you know, some of us do.
Yeah,
but thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you.
Make sure, you know, I send it to you, whatever, once I upload it or whatnot. But thank you again just for taking some time out of your day to speak with me and my audience. So thank you again. It was so quick. Ooh.
It did. Hey, keep doing great things, girl. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye. Bye.